it's very expensive to start a practice in this city. So let's say I'll take out a bank loan, whether SBA loan, things like that, but I might also need to raise some capital. So my assumption from what I've read, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is to raise capital, if it's someone outside of being a physician, I'll have to have my private practice filed, and I'd have to have an MSO, right? Because if you're a non-physician, you can only technically invest in the MSO. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what that type of relationship looks like? And is that what you were referring to when you said an operating agreement, or is that separate?
Yeah, so the operating agreement is separate from, it actually is part of the entity itself, right? So when you go to file the initial professional entity, then, and by the way, it's called professional entity because you hold a professional license, right? And so every professional state has its own professional license requirements for people who hold that licensure, who need to file or create a business type in a certain way. For example, in New York that you mentioned, you have the Department of Labor, right? That's connected to the Department of Education. And so the Department of Education will control how it looks like for you starting a business based off of you being a professional person who holds a licensure, right? A professional license. And so you right now, like in the state of New York, if you wanted to file, it would take you roughly about 4 months, 4 to 6 months in order to actually complete that incorporation process. And it's because it has to go through multiple different checkpoints in multiple different departments for them to be approved, because there's a lot of people who have some say so in that process, right? They implemented those rules and requirements of incorporating your business.